Hello, my name is Randy Dobson. I'm an instructor here in Houston, Texas, and this video will be for my advanced students, Autocad. It will be covering the taper faces, which is under this solid editing area. Again, this is something that you're editing. You're not creating anything per se. You have to have an object to edit, just like if you wanted to move something or do a chamfer or rotate, you have to have an object. And some of the rules of 2D will apply in how you determine when you taper a face. Now, taper is just sloping something down. Uh, so when you go to taper, I'm going to open this up here, and this may not say taper faces like mine says extrude faces. You have to go and open it up and go to taper faces. The first thing it asks you is what face do you want to taper? Well, I want to do the top of this box. I'm going to taper this thing so it's sloping down. So I'm going to pick that surface. There it is highlighted. I'm going to hit enter, and now it's asking me for a base point. I'm going to type in END for my end point of my O-snaps. I'm going to go to right here, and then I'm going to go to the end of this corner. And yes, you will see a line here. I will show you why I've got that drawn here in just a second. So I'm going to pick end. Now, it's asking for an angle. Well, since I want this to go down, if you remember, this is going counterclockwise, so it needs to be a positive. So I'm just going to type in 30 degrees and hit enter. And as you can see, this is tapered down 30 degrees. Now this is where my line comes into effect. Hopefully we can see it. Let me see if I can get that and change the color of it. That might help a little bit. Let's change that to just red for a second. Everything will be red, but that's okay. Now, as you can see, I've got this box that I have tapered down. That 30 degrees that I typed, is this line was going along that edge. That's this angle from here to here. And it asks for a base point. There it is right here. Now if I would have picked this corner as my base point, it would have tapered in the other direction. Okay, and I'm just going to go back and show you that real quick. Let me see if I can undo this pretty fast. Here we go. So I'm going to go back to taper faces, pick this face right here, hit enter. The base point, I'm going to go END on this side, and then END on this side, and I'm going to type in 30 and hit it, and it will slope downward. So that is depending on what base point you want. Now I'm going to undo this for a second, and I'm going to show you that the face is very, very important on what you select. I'm going to go to taper faces, and I'm going to select this face. Now if I hit enter and it asks for a base point, and I go end and then another one end, and I type in 30, now as you can see, it's swiveling or tapering this face right here that I selected. So you have to make sure that you're highlighting the correct face before you use this taper. One of your assignments, you can utilize this, but again, this is an editing tool that allows you to take an object that you've created and modify it a little bit without spending a lot of time. As you can see, it didn't take long to do this. But knowing that this swivel point is very similar to your rotate, to your mirror, not so much with array, but really more with rotate, that you have that axis that you rotate on. And just to remember that when you're working in this solid editing under the taper faces. One thing also to let you know, when you're working in these that have the multiple options, when I did taper faces, and normally you can hit enter to repeat the last command. You can't do that here with the same results. If I hit enter, as you can see down here, it's asking me to enter what I want to edit. So whenever you're using any of these up here, you want to make sure that just like with your arc, you can't go to start center end and then hit enter and go back to start center end. It will default back to the 3-point arc. So if you do taper faces, then you can come over here, you can do a taper face, hit enter. I'm going to make this my base point and this my base point, and type in 10. And as you can see, I tapered it. Now if I hit enter, as you notice, this doesn't start like the other one did. I've got to come down here and select something else. So as to not confuse you, I would just say that whenever you stop a command in the editing, go ahead and come back and select it again, just to have a clean start on it. And that concludes this video on tapering faces. Thank you.